Good morning, Marshall Public Schools. Wanted to take some time this morning and share another update with you guys, a little bit of information. I know we get lots of questions, and I really appreciate the questions that come in. It helps us know kind of what people are thinking, and some things are things that we have answers for, and some things are things we're still working for answers on. But a few things that have been happening this week. Big thing is with activities. I know we get a lot of questions about that and what's going on with activities. I know you probably have heard about the high school league rules or the update with moving volleyball and football to this fourth season. And we don't really know dates on all that stuff yet. And Bruce will get some more updates out in the near future too, but I'll just share a few things with you. So what happened with that football and volleyball being that new fourth season, spring activities are going to be pushed back a bit. Again, we don't really have dates for that yet. This fall, cross country, tennis, girls tennis, swim and dive, and soccer are still going to take place. Those events are going to be smaller than they've been in the past. We can't have these bigger multi-team events like we've seen before. So just it's going to feel different when we go. We also have rules around social distancing with all these things. So we can't have a stadium with more than 250 people. And that includes the participants in the activity is kind of the rule. Some of those events that number will work. We can make that work, like cross country, for example. We spread people out, and that's a little easier to have participants at that event. But we get to soccer, and it's going to have to look a little different how we keep track of that. So what the conference is looking at is doing some conference tickets where the participants get some tickets they can share with people, probably parents or family members that they want to have come watch. And there's only so many tickets to go around. That includes for the home team and the away team. That's just how that's going to have to work for right now. Reduce schedules and all those events. There won't be as many things taking place. There's only so many nights a week that they can have events. We talked about junior high activities. There have been some questions around that. Junior high activities are probably going to follow a traditional schedule like they've had in the past. Still keeping the football and the volleyball, for example, in the fall. But we got some things to work out from that. Like I mentioned, I don't have a lot of responses there or a lot of answers for you right now. I know it's stuff Bruce has been working really hard on, and we'll get more out for you guys as we know more about that. That's something that we're hearing a lot of questions about. The school board will talk about activities on Monday night as well. Had some questions about lunches. How's that going to work this fall? So certainly we've been working with Taher on that and getting that figured out. Still want to have some options for kids between a hot option and a cold option. Probably won't be as many things to pick from as there have been in the past. It all has to be prepackaged and wrapped and what have you. How lunch gets served, that's going to vary by building. Some buildings have a bigger cafeteria and can still serve lunch in the cafeteria and space kids out. Some buildings like West Side, for example, the cafeteria isn't very big, so that's going to be harder to do there. So it might look different on those sites. So every site will come out with how they can make that happen. But certainly we're going to have lunch available for all kids. That includes the kids on their distance learning days and the kids that choose Learn at Home as their option. So for those students, they'll be able to come and pick up a lunch like they did last spring or during the summer. Another question that's come up is, with lunches, we've gone to the fingerprint scanning to pay for the lunch, and that's going to look different too. We don't want all the kids touching one scanner, so we're going back to ID cards this year with a barcode on the back, so the kid will hold the barcode out, and we'll have some scanners at the point of sale stations for those. So it's just one of those things we can eliminate some touch points there. So that's we feel is going to work better. Breakfast will still be an option for students as well. There probably won't be 2 breakfast options like the second chance we've had the last couple of years, but breakfast will certainly still happen too. So more details with how the specifics on lunches will take place within the buildings. That's with their scheduling. We have some questions about buses. Our bus company is a great partner. They're working really hard to come up with a way to figure out how to get the kids here. You've heard us talk in our presentations and such about really needing parent support. That's a big need this year, is if people can have alternate transportation for kids, that's going to help us get them to school, because we will have limited capacity on buses in this hybrid model. We can have fewer kids on there, so kids can ride their bike so they can walk, or if parents can drop them off. That helps eliminate some of the population on the buses. With the buses too, there's probably going to be some more limits this year, and we've been a little more able to bring a friend home, or say, I'm typically not going to ride, but tonight I need to ride. That probably won't be as much of an option this year as it's been in the past. Just trying to keep those numbers where they need to be on the buses. We've had questions about custodial services and kind of what that's going to look like and what is cleaning going to happen. We're working on a little more information to share out with you on that, but we do have a lot of things we've got in place. Hilliard is one of our cleaning companies, and they're helping us put together some more detailed information to share with staff and with families. But some things I can tell you, We have regular cleaning of all those high-touch surfaces is going to happen throughout the day. We've got spray bottles of a cleaning solution that we purchased so that every classroom will have one of those spray bottles, and that will also come with a stack of those tri-fold paper towels to wipe things down. Cloth towels, then they have to be washed and they might hold things in and what have you. So paper towel will wipe things down and throw them away. We'll have hand sanitizer stations. All the classrooms that don't have a sink in them for kids to wash their hands will have a hand sanitizer station. Those have started to go up around the district. You might see those in different spaces now. I know they've started to put those in. And then there will be spots around the buildings where you'll see those hand sanitizer stations that are on like a standing out in different places. So those are going to be all over the district, and encourage students to use those. We want to build in routines for kids to go in and wash their hands and make sure they maintain some of those good hygiene practices. And one of the things we'll have to do this fall is teach kids, some of those things we just assume they know, or we've always just said go wash your hands. We might have to teach them some of how to do that, how to stand there and scrub their hands and some of those things. So our nurses have been working on putting that together too. So it's great to have such a good team that can help pull these pieces together for you guys. One of the other things that they're working with is with Johnson Controls. Have been questions about the ventilation systems in the buildings. So Johnson Controls is the company we work with that runs all that, and they're helping us put together protocols and procedures on how long those ventilation systems run, and making sure all that air gets cycled through the classrooms. Probably means turning them on earlier in the morning and running them longer at the end of the day than what we've done in the past. So that's some of the pieces that will come out in that additional information I mentioned for you all. So a lot of things taking place with the cleaning. I want to share too the Learn at Home, that those counts were due this week. We've had a lot of contacts made. People have been calling buildings and asking about what that looks like for their kid or what they might want, and some good conversations have taken place there. Principals have been busy calling families and having those conversations. We were anticipating maybe about 10% of our families would choose that option. Right now we're under 5%, right at 4% of our families. We're at 117 kids have selected the Learn at Home option, and it's kind of spread across the buildings. Every level has a few, so that's something that we're working out with too. And just now, what does that look like, and how do we manage all that and work all that in the schedules too? So I know there's so many things that are new. Really, we want to create this normal experience for our kids, as well as normal as we can. We know we have this pandemic hanging over us, and that makes this hard. It's we know we have staff members, students, community members that all see this pandemic differently, from a different perspective. Some people aren't real worried about this right now, and they struggle with all the restrictions that are in place. The masks are really hard for some people. We have other people that see it totally different. They have some medical conditions, or they have different reasons they struggle with it, and they're very concerned, and then they're much more cautious. So as a district, we're really trying to find balance in all of that, knowing that we have guidelines that we have to follow. We have public health guidelines and Department of Health guidelines, and Department of Education is telling us different things. And then we have the CDC, certainly, that those companies all work together, but sometimes we find a guideline, we put something in place, and then the guideline changes. It seems like sometimes as soon as we make a rule, then or a procedure or practice, something changes. And sometimes you find guidance from one place that conflicts a little bit from another place. So really working to find that balance, like I mentioned, and put that together. You're going to hear area districts are doing one thing or another thing, and every district has different staff, different students, different facilities where they can make things work that other districts can't make work. I feel like the decisions we're making, we're really focusing on what's going to be a best fit for our district. How can we implement what we feel is the safest and the best way to bring all of our students back this fall? Because we do want to get back to that normal too. We know there's going to be pieces as we go that we're going to have to refine. We know we're going to find things that make sense right now that then don't as we get going through the year, or things that, we didn't think about that. So that's where I mentioned those questions you guys come with. Bring them to your principals and they bring them to us, or however that works. Those are helpful. They help us think of things, or maybe make sure we're communicating pieces that we have worked on. And we've had a lot of support from our families, from our community, from everyone. That's just, we're in a great location to be here in Marshall and have all that support. It's really makes this work for everyone. So just wanted to let you guys know how much we appreciate all the work you're doing, and certainly understand the stress that this brings on everyone, and we want to put together a plan that's going to work. So just little morning update for you. Again, appreciate all that you're doing and have a great week. See you all soon.